My name is Guillermo-Pablos-Murphy. I am the CCO of Tela Network, and with me today is Nicholas Piano, CEO of Tela Network. How are you doing, Nick?
Not too bad. Thank you very much.
Glad to hear it. So I wanted to sit down with you and talk through your ideas for a new logo for Tela. You know, I've been working on some ideas. I sent you a few works in process, and I wanted to actually get in your mindset. So let me just share my screen. There you are. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Excellent.
Indeed.
So these are the works in progress that I sent you. As if I walked you through some of the elements that I played through on these more symbolic or defined options, and then there's a few more abstract ones that kind of riff on what we already have.
Yeah.
I suppose with this in mind, this is not actually the logo we use right away. It's the one up here. But I don't want to double up. But I'll open up this one because it's close enough.
It's close enough,
Could you walk me through what's the story behind this logo?
Yeah, so there's a couple elements here. The first is a Go board, and we really like the idea of a Go board. It's the idea of a huge network of pieces working in conjunction. So the pattern that Go pieces have on a Go board is the result of constant conflict with the opponent, and so the resulting shape is often very pleasing, and it's very organic, and so we sort of wanted it to represent that professional network of people. So that was the reason for the reference to the Go board. The shape that is there represented now is actually from a computer program called The Game of Life by John Conway. And it is a program where, using very, very simple rules, pixels that are either on or off, so white or black, would become on or off. So the rules for how to go to the next generation will be determined on the neighbors of a particular pixel. So if a pixel has 3 neighbors alive or on, then it would become on in the next generation. So the pattern that you're seeing is a very interesting pattern. It's called the Gosper. No, it's called a glider. No, it's named after someone. It's not Gosper, but it's called a glider because when you place this pattern and then run the program so that it goes through successive generations, the pattern will repeat and it will move across or appear to move across the screen. And so it's very interesting. And so it's essentially the idea of independent items, the pixels, so to speak, that pattern working together to produce something that is actually moving. And so it's sort of a combination of those two things were the inspiration for that pattern.
I like that a lot. I'd heard you refer to the Game of Life before, I think in conversation with someone, but I didn't realize that was the story behind it. That's really interesting, actually, and I like the connection it has with Go. That's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So actually, if you want to quickly Google a short video, Game of Life glider.
That's a really good idea. Would it be on YouTube?
Yes. Yeah. Very simple.
Game of Life glider, did you say?
Yeah, exactly that. And you'll be able to see it in action. So there you go. So this is actually the Gosper glider gun, where it's a pattern that produces it actually repeats itself and it produces a successive series of gliders, infinitely, actually. And so that is very, very interesting. You could perhaps skip ahead. Oh, well, what he's doing is putting down cells that are alive, and as you can see, as it evolves, then the pattern will move and it will something else.
Okay.
So glider. He's making the gun. Skip forward. There. So now as the pattern evolves.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So those gliders, the pattern that is the logo at the moment, is one of the evolutions of that glider. So you'll see that. It's right there.
Yeah. Right there. Ah,
Yeah,
that's really cool. Okay.
yeah, it's
So I like the idea. It's playing on the idea of like a network growing
yeah,
organically.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I like that a lot. Okay,
It's quite
so
abstract, but yeah.
no, but I like it. It's Well, maybe we can actually play with that idea. The fact that maybe it is very abstract, but I still like it. It's
Right.
recognizable. So I suppose, what do we want to keep from this current logo? So do you want to keep this reference to a glider pattern?
It's an interesting idea. I was thinking a lot of your designs and the focus on the castle, and I also like that. And I was wondering if there was something that we could do about that.
Yeah,
because I really enjoy
I
them as
like
well.
I like the symbolism of the castle simply because I like the idea of Tela being a walled garden.
Right.
You know, it's the idea that it's a gate to your protection, and inside
Yes.
is the value proposition. So that's why I was playing with ideas of, this was supposed to be a gate,
Yes.
and the reference to the gate is a lot more obvious. But then it sort of became two walls, almost like two columns. I've pointed this out to some people, and they said it looked like the Pillars of Hercules.
Okay.
Which is
Yes.
in that analogy, the sea is actually part of the picture, in the sense that
Yes.
the Pillars of Hercules are in the mouth of the Mediterranean. But again, you can see the go in the middle. I was also playing around with that idea, with the grid lines showing the connectivity.
Yes.
And the cathedral element was that idea of value. There's value in the middle, but it was a bit too ornate for my liking once I put it together.
Yes. It's definitely some of the examples are quite busy.
Yes, I agree.
And I don't know if this. So I'm sure there's an equivalent for logo design, but for flag design, I don't know if you've ever come across this. There are basically these 4 small rules. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, I mean, I can look it up otherwise. Rules
Yes,
for
if you look
flag.
up good flag, bad flag.
Okay.
It's a very funny
Good
title, but
flag,
there's 5
bad
rules.
Bad flag. 5 rules? Let's see.
Yeah.
Is it a video as well?
No, it should just be. There you go.
Would that be it? Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Simple enough for a child to draw from memory. Meaningful symbolism. Flags, images, colors, and patterns should relate to what it symbolizes. So, for example, Fana does one that's perfect. Sure, you can't draw it down to the minutest detail.
Sure.
But it'll be clear what you're drawing. 2 to 3 basic colors. No lettering or seals. Be distinctive or be related. It's very funny, actually. CGP Grey, the YouTuber who you're probably familiar with, he does a lot of stuff about flags. And he has one more rule, which is the rule of cool. So if you look up the flag of Venice, for example.
Benin? Venice?
Venice.
Oh, Venice, sorry.
Okay. It's just... It is absolutely not simple. It's yeah. There's a lot going on.
But it is pretty cool.
But it's the rule of cool. It's like, is it cool? It's cool.
Mean,
so they get a pass.
I mean, that, I suppose, being a flag that looks good on a castle is a plus.
Right.
Yeah.
But a child would not be able to draw this.
Sure. Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some.
Anyway, it's some inspiration at least.
Okay. So I suppose with that in mind,
yeah.
How do you make this? So okay, I like the play on the network being part of the logo. That's what I like about the Go metaphor, and I like the use of the game of life as part of it as well. You mentioned one of the things that stood out to me that you said that you didn't like about the idea of the walls was that it was too recognizable as being an object. Am
I
I
don't
getting
know
that
if that
right?
was the right way. I don't know if that was the right way of saying it. It was
Okay.
simply that I like the idea of remaining abstract. So, although it might contain recognizable elements from things, what do you call the top of a castle? Is that crenellation?
Parapet, maybe?
I
Crenellation?
think
Parapet, I think, is just like the walls. Maybe you're right, is the
I think
crenellation.
crenellation is the sort of up and down stuff at the top.
Okay.
At the top.
Yeah.
So keeping an element like the crenellation, that's recognizably like a castle wall, is something that you could definitely do.
Okay. It's sort of like a crown almost, but that could be a. That's an interesting visual parallel I hadn't thought up until just now. They're like little crowns.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
An example that I could see working, if you exit now, if you go to the dark go, or I don't know which one's better, but yeah, just take this as an example. What if the border were a hexagon, and you wanted me to explain hexagons?
Yes, I did. That's right.
I just really like hexagons.
Okay, well, I'll play with that.
I think they're great. I think they're the best shape, so I enjoy hexagons a lot.
Cool.
What if the border were a hexagon, and the what's it called? The
grid?
The sides of the hexagon
were
made up of subtle references to the things you've included. So to water, perhaps, to
I'm doing an octagon.
That's octagon. Yes, but very importantly, the other way around. So with point exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Fair enough.
So if like certain of the sides had that crenellation, for example, did something to do with the wall, perhaps the top ones, and then the side ones could have something, a reference to a cathedral in some way, and the bottom ones could have a reference to
that's a challenge. I like that. Okay. So each side represents a different connotation.
For example, and then in the center,
that could be. We could see how that could be. A lot of these patterns start busy, and then they get simplified with iterations.
Yes,
so I could see. I could start busy, and then see how it can be simplified down into something cohesive. That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's stuff like we talked about water. I like water because it's like calm, but it's also depth. And it's also the idea of connectivity. The sea connects people. So water, go / game of life, crenellations, crown. Anything else? Let's see other elements that we could play with. Hexagon is important, obviously, but that's the shape. I like the idea of. A garden is something we've talked about before. A garden,
definitely.
Garden.
In fact, the go stones could be flowers in some way. You could
That's also true.
Make some sort
pebbles.
of motif. Yeah, you could do something. Exactly, a Zen garden kind of. There's a lot of ways you could play with that, I think.
Yes.
To give you another brief example of the flag thing. If you look up the main state flag, I think there are many like this, but like the main state flag with an E on the end, it's fine. You'll find it.
Oh, I thought you mean the primary flag of.
I know. This one's awful. So.
Oh yes.
It's very
not good.
There's a lot of details in there.
Isn't it Brazil as well? That's got the name Brazil on it. Or
has words on it. That's bad.
Instantly bad.
But a good state flag. So this is what CGP Grey would call an F flag.
Okay.
A good state flag is the new flag, which I love. Is it Arizona? Let me double check. Nope, it's not Arizona. Maybe it's Nevada.
We're going to go through all states.
Or maybe it's New Mexico. I can't remember.
See, Nevada.
It's New Mexico. God
Okay,
damn
it's not Nevada, but it's got words on it.
I just can't remember which one it is. There you go, this one.
Ooh.
I love this thing.
That's Scottish.
Yeah, it is. So it has
that's effective.
Has the sort of American Indian elements.
Yeah.
The sort of spiritual symbolism. It's instantly recognizable. It's
true.
So good. I love this.
It's
stuff.
really good.
Gosh,
I wish I'd designed this.
I know.
It's a good flag. That's a good flag.
No, it's very, very good.
Okay. Well, I like all these things.
Something to.
Yeah. I suppose. Is there anything else that comes to mind, even if it's like a long shot? Any other elements? That like, I like this idea. Like,
long shot elements.
Yeah. It's like water. You could probably get in somewhere on a logo on a flag.
Sure.
A veiled reference to water, but something that's like, I like this association to Tela. Nothing comes to mind.
I don't think I can think of anything at the moment.
Cool.
Those things are pretty good.
I like it. Great. Well.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about the circularly or rotationally symmetric.
Yes.
So this pattern, for example, if you take it now and you rotate it a little bit, just like 5-10 degrees,
okay,
it won't look wrong. I don't know how to say that. I mean, it'll look slightly off. It'll look like, that looks like it should be straight up and down or something. But if you take the castle and you rotate it even slightly to the side, then it's wrong. It's completely wrong. It's not just slightly wrong. It's completely wrong, and that's because the castle requires a very neat up and down kind of thing. And
that's a fair point. Yes,
I wanted to avoid things that have a very clear direction, so that they can be rotated a bit or played around with a bit, so they're a bit more flexible. So the New Mexico state flag, for example, is kind of like that. It's got that fourfold symmetry, which means you can sort of play around with it a bit. It doesn't necessarily have a clear up and down. So that's something I wanted to think about.
Yep, I like that. And it's actually, especially with a castle, if you slightly rotate a castle, suddenly the symbolism is very different.
Yeah.
A castle standing upright and a castle laying sideways is very different.
Yes.
It doesn't give strength anymore.
No, definitely not.
Okay, that's actually, now I understand what you meant. I didn't understand what you meant when you texted it. I thought you meant like if you like rotated 180.
Right.
There we go. No, I understand the minor adjustment point.
Yeah. So it has to be abstract enough that it's flexible, and you wouldn't mind. You wouldn't like feel pain seeing a thing that's like slightly off center or like that kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like that. I think that's everything I needed to know. I'll play around a bit. You may be interested to know I'm actually finding a really good use in brainstorming logos for AI. Actually, it's very good at actually just coming up with rough ideas. True. That I can then go, then I will refine that, because it can't actually refine very well.
Yes,
but
actually,
stick ideas together.
Definitely. If you have a couple minutes, would you be able to pull that up?
That's a very good idea. Yes, we should
plug in the stuff that we've been talking about.
Yes, actually, that's a great idea. Let me put over.
See what comes out.
I picked up the premium or whatever it's like, OpenAI Plus. And
by the way, is that a Hnefeltaffel board?
That is a Hnefeltaffel board. It's a bit off topic. It's not as elegant as Go, because one side is clearly stronger.
Well, yeah.
And it's kind of annoying. I'm sure there's a variation that's more balanced, but I have played very aggressively against myself, and it is impossible to win as white.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it probably is possible, but I can't play forever.
Right.
Okay. So some of these ideas. Hexagonal logo with each side representing one of these concepts. And let me list them. 1, we've got water. 2 is, let's say, go. 3.
Oh, well, the edge doesn't have to.
Fair enough. Let's say, well, let's not specify the each side. Let's find a logo with that plays with these elements. And then we can refine it. It asks for colors and it asks for complexity of elements, like how busy we want it to be. Let's say water, game, go, game of life, castle.
Specify Conway's game of life. Actually.
Oh yes, Conway's. I might not figure it out otherwise. Conway's game of life, castle, Zen garden, network and connection, organic growth. I think that's good as a start. I'll specify it's for a messaging app that builds a resilient network around it. All right, how complex do we want it to be? The ones I did, like to give you a reference, the ones I designed are probably 3. Something like that.
Yeah, let's go with that. I think that's good.
Let's go 3. And do we want black and white or color?
With the flag rules, 2 to 3 colors.
Okay, what colors do we want? Do you have a preference? Should we say like
like
light
pastel.
green? Oh, that's a good one.
Exactly.
Pastel, green, and blue, let's say.
Exactly.
Calm
Zen.
colors. Yeah. All right, let's give that a shot.
What you?
It's loading a bit. Let's see. Okay. That's busy. That is complex. So now we could say, okay, that's a bit complex. Keep the hexagon, but remove the busyness. Maybe.
I will say.
Yeah.
You go on.
No, go ahead.
One element that I do like that it has included is a sub-hexagon within the hexagon.
Okay.
I'm actually not totally against that.
I like the hexagons inside the hexagon.
Maybe it's too much, but like I kind of like it.
Remove the business. I like the hexagon inside the hexagon. Let's say maybe keep one element to represent each association. Let's see what it comes up with.
Okay.
I like that
it's simpler.
That looks like a medieval crest almost.
A little bit.
Like each element is you know what I'm talking about?
I do. And I kind of do like it. I think it needs to be a bit more symmetrical, so a bit more rotatory, that kind of thing. But I sort of like where it's going. I like that kind of thing.
So let's see. Where do we want it to iterate from here?
Ooh, interesting. Thick border.
Oh, do we want to keep the rules for flags here? Because I don't think a child could probably squiggle this, like 4 things in the middle and water.
I think the symbols could be adjusted.
Okay, let's see. Simpler symbols. Do we want it to keep the water? I was thinking because that harms the rotational aspect of it, maybe.
Well, yeah, a little bit. But it's I don't expect the LLM to come up with anything like super.
Let's say simpler symbols, thinner border. I don't know. We like the thick border.
I kind of like the thick border.
Okay,
actually.
you like keep the thick border, and try variations
Okay.
of the symbols.
Oh, you deleted variations.
Oh yes, thank you. Try of the symbols. All right, and let's do this. We can say this is the last generation for now. Maybe I just don't want to keep this too long.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
whoa! Maybe the
like
other
a drawing
way.
in the sand.
That's okay. But yeah, I think there are some inspirational elements in there that could be used. Whoa!
That looks like a Pokemon.
It does. Anyway, so I think there are some things there to work with. Honestly.
Okay, we like this.
Yeah.
And you like the hexagons inside the hexagons. That's not
parts of that. Yeah.
I wonder. Look, I like look what it's done. Where it's made the hexagons like it's made
hexagonal game of Go.
The shape. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Okay. I wonder if I could make this grid pattern on a hexagonal grid. Huh.
It wouldn't be the same, but
no, it
you
wouldn't.
Could do a variant of it.
I could do. Well, I'll try. I'll throw some more variants with what you have in mind. Oh, I realized I didn't share. Just a second. Yes, well, I think whoever, if anyone's listening, they understand what I mean.
You didn't share what? Sorry,
I didn't share the screen of the Go pattern, but it's the logo that Tela's currently using.
Right, I see. Okay.
Great.
Cool.
Great. Thanks for chatting, Nick. Yeah. I'll throw some things together, and you can let me know if it's going in the right direction.
Okay.
Cool. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye then.